Hello everybody, this is Word here, and we are back for Game 4 of this clan war between Clarity Gaming and XO Gaming. XO Gaming currently up 2-1, and their winner of the last two matches is xOSeither. He is the blue Terran. He is playing in the lower right corner of Entombed Valley, and he is going up against xSipphon, the yellow Protoss player from Clarity Gaming. Now, this is a best-of-7 show match, so of course that means the first to 4 victories will take it, and it is all-kill format, so if xOSeither beats xSipphon and the next choice from Clarity, he will take the win. But we'll see whether or not Clarity can bring it back with this game here in Entombed Valley. We're going to have a PvT here, and not the first of the series. We had xOSeither go up against Shu in a PvT, which he did win. We'll see if he can do the same here. Now, as I mentioned before, I will be casting this particular game audio-wise using Audacity. The last game was Fraps, because I want to see how the audio quality is with both. Audacity sounds a little bit better, but I've been having those crackling issues I mentioned, so if you notice anything, please let me know in the comments. You know, if you see something, say something, or hear something in this case, say something, because I cannot improve my content without your feedback, and it's very much appreciated. Where we are also in this slower beginning portion of the game, I would like to let you guys know that I have moved to a new YouTube channel. Maybe you're watching this on there right now, or maybe you're watching it on the old one. But the new YouTube channel is youtube.com/wordcastsc2. So make sure to hop over there and subscribe. I'll put the link in the description, all of that good stuff. For a little while, I will be uploading content to both channels, but soon I will phase out of using the old channel and exclusively upload content to WordcastSC2. So make sure to get over there, subscribe so you don't miss anything. And of course, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Wordcast, as well as on Twitch TV. That's going to be twitch.tv/Word5. Because I will be streaming a lot more. I realize that I have not streamed nearly enough in the past, and that is something I am very much looking forward to fixing, so don't worry. If you follow me there, you will get some good content, both gameplay and events alike. Now, we see here that xOSeither has gone for that, you know, getting the full wall off a little bit early just to make sure that the probe couldn't scout. Of course, xSiphon's probe is going to come in here and not going to be able to see anything. It will be scared away by this wall. Meanwhile, xOSeither's SCV is going to make it inside the base of xSipphon with really no problem. There's nothing out here to deny. It'll just be a Zealot, and of course, that's not very good at destroying an SCV or chasing it down in any way. It looks like that probe is going to get killed, and of course, xSipphon has absolutely no vision. However, it looks like, well, it is a gasless fast expand here from xOSeither, but xSipphon doesn't know that, so he's going to be a little bit on edge, not sure quite what to expect, and that's why it is so great for Terrans to lay down the supply depot. Of course, it comes at the cost of delaying the orbital or an SCV, but information is one of the most powerful resources in StarCraft 2, and if you can keep it out of the hands of your opponent, you're in a good position. Now, I like xSipphon. He's dropping a Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate here. This isn't necessarily to be aggressive. Normally you don't see Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate if you can confirm the 1 gate or the 1 Rax fast expand, but in this case he's not sure exactly what his opponent's up to. He doesn't want to sacrifice too much economy to make sure that he is prepared against a possible Cloaked Banshee or anything like that, but the earlier Warp Gate, of course, will allow him to get earlier units to get to shy away any sort of Rax-based aggression, which I think is very nice. But of course, the most likely scenario is that his opponent is early expanding, which is why the Stalker is coming out here now. Going to see what he can do. Meanwhile, we do have a Nexus going down for xSipphon. So the Stalker's going to come up. There is no bunker here for xOSeither, and maybe if xSipphon had sent the Zealot over, that is going to get knocked away. If xSipphon had sent the Zealot over, he might actually be able to do some damage to these units, but he went for just the Stalker and actually did not get a confirmation on this command center. So he's not quite sure what his opponent's up to, and he is going to lay down these gates first before the Robo, so he can have those extra units out just in case he needs them. And, you know, it's these little things that can make a build a little bit less powerful than you would ideally like it. Ideally, all Protosses would love to go straight for the Robo and get those Colossi out quickly. But, of course, xSipphon does have to play it a little closer to the chest in this game. xOSeither, meanwhile, nothing crazy, no crazy aggression, just a few Marines coming out here to clear the tower. xSipphon should be right on top of that. xOSeither should be adding on a factory soon. It's just going into that standard Terran mid-game. He's not going to be relying on any aggression before Medivacs in this case, it looks like. And he's going to be laying down that bunker now. So, xSipphon still doesn't have the confirmation on that Nexus, or I'm sorry, the command center. So until he knows for a fact that's down there, or until maybe he sees the bunker, he is always going to be worried about something coming in. Maybe a Banshee, maybe a Hellion drop, something like that. So his units are positioned here on the ramp instead of all the way down here in the natural, because he just doesn't know where the fight is going to be coming from. So that's a very nice, safe play there. But xOSeither's mind game worked out very well, keeping those Marines down there. No bunker, which is really cool, because if he had scouted the bunker, he would have been like, okay, well, you have a command center there. There's no reason for you to have a bunker otherwise. But he's actually forced xSipphon to make unadvantageous decisions. I'm sorry, disadvantageous, I should say. and it could end up putting him a little bit behind. We see 31 probes to 27. Nothing too crazy, but it's mostly the tech that we're talking about here. Both of these guys have been working on blowing up their supply depots. You see the forge coming down. Oh, actually, it was canceled for xSiphon, interestingly enough. And he is just going to be bulking up his forces a little bit. A lot of sentries, playing a little bit defensively. Marines scouting out here for xSiphon to see if anything's going on, but he's not going to find anything too suspicious. Meanwhile, the factory has gone up, and the starport is on its way as well. We see an Immortal coming out here for xSiphon, so it's pretty defensive play. You see that we see 2 Stalkers in here to deny drops. He's going to add on a couple of more gates, then probably lay down that Colossus tech. And, oh, hold on. That's actually 6 gates total, which is not the norm if you're familiar with PvT at all. Usually you get 5 gates and then your tech, but in this case with 6 gates, xSiphon's probably looking to be aggressive. Looks like he's going to bring the Stalker out here, probably to clear the tower. The Observer going to come in to see exactly what he's up against, and xSiphon has a beautiful wall here. Going to deny a lot of Zealot aggression, because, of course, they can't get the full surface area on that bunker. We do have medevacs on the way now for xSiphon, +1 on the way, Stim about to finish. No combat shield on the way quite yet, but he does have a pretty strong bioforce. However, with 6 gates, xSiphon is really going to be jumping up in army supply, and he's actually going to have Immortals bolstering this push as well. We see 1 Immortal, a second one on the way, and Immortals are really undervalued in PvT. They are, oh, so strong, especially when it comes to breaking down walls and bunkers. He's going to be laying down a pylon here, and yeah, he is going to be going for some serious damage, and considering how much he's delaying his tech, he really has to make this attack count. He does not have the Robo Bay down. He doesn't even have the gases at his natural, so this attack is going to have to do some serious damage, but oh, xSiphon is actually moving out. And there's a lot of force fields here. If he gets caught off guard, this could be a very bad situation for the Terran. And it looks like xSiphon is going to be coming up from the rear. The bunker was salvaged. He doesn't have much to retreat back to in terms of defense. And now this army is going to be caught in the middle. However, this is not the best engagement spot for Protoss in terms of landing force fields. There's a lot of spots for Terran to run. And he will be able to stim and run away if he chooses. I don't think he wants to take this fight. Yes, he is going to run, try to retreat down this banana hallway. But at the end of it, the Protoss is going to be waiting. And it looks like he's just going to bust the front. A few bunkers going down, but bunkers take quite a while to complete. 40 seconds, in fact. And I doubt xSiphon is going to give him that amount of time. He certainly is not going to try to let the army get into those bunkers and up. And it looks like the Zealots are going to be coming up here. The army going to start attacking it from behind. And the army of xSiphon is kind of split, not getting the best engagements he could. A lot of Zealots stuck in there on the SCVs, but he's siphoning off a good portion of the army. And he might be able to break this. There's just so much Protoss here. Canceling that forge, going for this timing attack. A couple of the bunkers do manage to get up, but Immortals just murder bunkers, even with mass repair, which is not the case here. The SCVs being forced to pull into the fight. We have 20 workers killed so far for xSiphon. 36 to 26 SCVs now. He's going to be breaking in. There's a lot of bio and a lot of medevacs, though, and I'm not sure if he can make it through this. We have another warp in of Zealots coming in. He needs to regroup if he wants to take on this army, but the bio under the medevacs is so very powerful. However, if xSiphon survives this, he's going to have a huge medevac count, which is going to make drops that more dangerous, and of course direct attacks very, very hard for the Protoss to deal with without splash damage. More SCVs being pulled right now, but it looks like somehow xSiphon is going to be able to knock this away. Very nice micro, very good choices of using those SCVs. We see another warp, and he is going to scan but not get rid of the Observer. And the aggression is going to continue on the Protoss side. We don't see any additional infrastructure from xSiphon. He is simply adding on not adding on anything, I guess I should say. He is just chrono boosting those warp gates in an attempt to get more units out. These Immortals surviving is so huge. One of them has 12 kills. They suck up so much damage. That one is going to get picked off. And now xSiphon, I think, is finally going to push this back, but xSiphon going to be looking for the engagement again, trying to focus down that Immortal. Marauder count not too high. And now he's going to pull back. He is producing probes. Probe count 36 to 19. He is almost doubling the worker count of xSiphon, and the army supply is 34 to 29. But look at that medevac count. 6 medevacs in the air right now makes that bio almost twice as valuable. In fact, I am going to say twice as valuable, and I am not going to regret it. That is very, very scary bio right now. And honestly, xSiphon might have a hard time holding without the extra gas to replenish that sentry count, because these gases at the natural are so late. He's going to have to do a direct engagement if xSiphon decides to be aggressive. He's laying down a forge, laying down that robotics bay now as well. And it looks like xSiphon is pulling back for now. He's adding +1 armor. He's getting a couple tech labs, so he's going to have to try to make up for this economic deficit. But, I mean, once Colossi are out for xSiphon, he's going to be in a really, really good position. I'm not sure exactly what xSiphon is going to be able to do about it. He has a good army, but he's going to have to be aggressive with it. He has to even up this economic deficit exactly twice the amount of probes now. And you can check the income there. You see that it is effective. affecting the income very well, especially on the gas. But now, okay, we are going to see Scyther being aggressive. He's going to have concussive shells ready, combat shields on these Marines. +1 is done. +1 armor not going to be done by the time he wants to attack. And xSipphon is working on breaking down these rocks, but the damage could be incoming here from Scyther, and this might not be a push. He's able to hold the Colossus only halfway done. He's only got 1 sentry. He's not going to be able to force field the ramp. You need 3 force fields to hold this ramp properly. I believe I'm not miscounting there. I'm pretty sure you can't do it with 2. And he's adding on a couple of cannons. Wow, he's actually going to sack his natural, retreating into his main. He knows he can't hold this. He sees the huge SCV pull. He knows how all-in Scyther is with this push. And if he can get the Colossus and hold this ramp, he could be in a very good position here. But he's coming down the ramp. Not the best force fields. He's going to trap a couple things, but he's not going to engage with them. Not going to slam his zealots up against that damage. And Scyther's going to have a serious problem getting up this ramp. However, he has enough medevacs to load his entire army in and go for a doom drop. And that is not going to be a good position for xSipphon. But he snipes the Nexus, and he's going to retreat here. Still about half the SCV count. A lot of them have not been mining. We see 15 SCVs here, which means there's only like 8 remaining on the gas and minerals. He's going to pull back. We're going to see this Nexus being remade. The Marine going to come in here and scout. Doesn't see a 3rd Nexus for his opponent, so he knows at least that he's not investing in that yet. Now we do see the Nexus is going to be coming up, and Scyther might find himself in a position where he can go for a timing attack if that Nexus does go up, because he knows his opponent wasn't comfortable engaging his army even when he hadn't made that Nexus. However, we also have to consider the fact that there's going to be 2 Colossi out for xSipphon very soon. We do have only 1 Viking out, as a matter of fact, for Scyther. He just can't afford to even double produce them at this moment. SCV count's so low, he has almost no gas in the bank and almost no gas mining. Only 1 SCV on each of these refineries, and this one is absolutely nothing. The Terran's economy is in shambles, and honestly, xSipphon looks pretty good to win this match. He's got +1 upgrades. The +1/+1 has finished for the Terran, but we have +1 armor on the way here, as well as extended thermal lance. And with those upgrades finished, I really don't know if Scyther's going to be able to overcome xSipphon here, especially if he engages here back at home. Now, if xSipphon moves out in the middle of the map to be aggressive, that would definitely be a mistake. He knows the economic advantage he's sitting at. He saw all the SCVs he killed. There's no reason to be aggressive at this point. But if there was an engagement there in the center of the map, then maybe Scyther could take it, because you can't use the Colossi effectively. You can't zone out the army and get that good damage. But xSipphon has a full scout on the army. He's getting a 3rd Nexus, so he doesn't look like he's going to be moving out on the map anytime soon. We don't have a Twilight Council on the way, do we? No, it looks like he's going to be sticking with these +1/+1 upgrades for now, and probably should be laying that down. It makes me think he's going to be going for a timing attack when that +1 armor finishes, and that would just be so scary. It looks like that Observer is taken down, and I think it would be scary for xSipphon, not Scyther. He should be able to deal. I mean, this is a scary army, man. The economy for the Terran is pretty bad, but this army is really brutal, and we're going to have 6 Vikings in the air soon. That is a good enough number to deal with a few Colossi. Not the best. You would ideally want to have a little bit more, but it's still very damaging. But if xSipphon can sit back, we do see the Twilight Council coming up. If he can get to those Templar, he should win, but is Scyther going to give him that chance? Army supply 96 to 65, hugely in favor of the Terran, but is it going to be enough? This Nexus is up. Scyther rather, not Cypher from Final Fantasy VIII, is aware of it. He's going to be coming up, and he might get the kill, but he's got to be so careful. This is a dangerous ramp to come up on, but of course, the Vikings on Entombed Valley are beautiful against those Colossi. He's going to stim up, start doing some damage. A couple force fields, and 1 force field going down, not forcing out too many. There are quite a few sentries here now, so he's got force fields to burn. Actually, maybe not that many. Maybe about 8 or so force fields there. He's got to be very careful with how he uses them. Observer, again, getting a full scout on this army. He knows exactly where his opponent is coming from. Charge on the way here for xSipphon. Army supply 102 to 82. xSipphon is starting to catch up. Heavy stalker count. He's going to be able to pick off these Vikings if they try to get too close, but he does not want to lose any of these units. And, oh, we see the huge SCV pull from Scyther. This is it. It's going to be an all-or-nothing push. xSipphon is warping in back at home, trying to defend. Scyther just can't find the angle. All he needs to do is get up this ramp, and then he might be in a good position. Vikings in a great spot to get some volleys off. And here it comes. The Colossi are going to start dealing damage. No force fields going down yet. A lot of the Zealots trapped behind, and a lot of the bio is getting zoned out, but it's mostly SCVs. We have actually a huge concave here for Scyther. All the Colossi have been picked off. Is Scyther actually going to win this? The army supply, 64, dropping now more for the Protoss, and I think he's actually going to take out the Medivacs, healing this bio, and oh my goodness, Xipphon might actually lose this game. I thought he was in such a good position, but a beautiful engagement, a beautiful concave from Scyther could be enough to take out the player from Clarity Gaming, and yes, GG. or G, I should say, xOSeither is going to bring this 3-1 in favor of XO Gaming, which means if XO Gaming wins the next match, they will win this best of 7 and take the victory. Let's go into that next game now and see who Clarity Gaming is going to bring out.